Ouray is a small mountain town of about 1,000 people, and it's known as the Switzerland of America. It's known for its outdoor activities, its beautiful scenery, and its hot springs.
And in this video, we're going to show you a few of the things we discovered.
The Million Dollar Highway is a 25-mile stretch of U.S. Route 550 between Silverton and Ouray that is known for its amazing mountain views. There are a number of potential explanations for how the name Million Dollar Highway came about, although no one seems to know for sure. It could be the cost to build the road, the value of ore transported on the route from mining, or simply the spectacular million-dollar views. With hairpin curves, steep drop-offs, and notoriously changeable weather, this highway has also earned a reputation as one of America's most dangerous roads. However, if you keep an eye on the weather and stick to the speed limit, it's sure to be a memorable and enjoyable drive. In addition to the incredible views, the Million Dollar Highway winds through the heart of the Red Mountain Mining District, where hundreds of mines and abandoned towns await exploration. The 30-square-mile mining district contained over 100 mines back in the 1880s and 90s, and the remnants still remain. To fully explore the area, it's helpful to have a four-wheel drive vehicle, but even if you don't have one of your own, there are plenty of places to rent a Jeep or OHV in Ouray, and even without that, many buildings can be seen and some visited directly from the Million Dollar Highway. Yankee Mine is perhaps the most iconic of the area's mines and was one of the most valuable mines in the U.S. back in the late 1800s. Over $12 million of ore came out of this mine. That's more than $100 million by today's standards. The headframe that sits above the historic 1,200-foot vertical mine shaft can be seen from the Red Mountain mining overlook off Highway 550, and with four-wheel drive, you can drive directly to the remaining mine buildings. The mining district is also home to what remains of 6 mining boomtowns. The town of Ironton is located just off Highway 550 and is the town shown here. This town illustrates just where that term boomtown comes from. When the town started in 1883, there were over 300 buildings under construction within its first 3 weeks in existence. In downtown Ouray, the Alchemist Museum tour is really hard to adequately describe. Over 2 hours, Kurt, the charismatic and engaging owner and master storyteller, will teach you about the history of pharmacy, particularly in the Wild West, but with background throughout history. Kurt has spent 50 years collecting all manner of historical pharmacy-related items and recreating this amazing Wild West pharmacy, including hundreds of hand-blown glass bottles that still contain their original contents. This is a one-of-a-kind experience and not to be missed. Tours are given most days at 10 a.m. and you'll want to be sure to call ahead to reserve a spot. Just outside of town to the south is Box Canyon Falls, a unique waterfall that caught the attention of some silver miners in the late 1800s. The silver never quite materialized on the claim, but the area was later deeded to the city of Ouray, who developed it as a park and tourist attraction. Because the 285-foot falls plummet inside a narrow gorge, they're only visible up close, and the town of Ouray has made that possible by building an elevated walkway that takes you inside the gorge and within feet of the thundering falls for an unforgettable sensory experience. While here, you can also hike up to the High Bridge for spectacular views of town and the surrounding valley. The High Bridge is also part of Ouray's Perimeter Trail, which rings the town, linking in with a number of other trails and passing by many of the town's popular natural attractions. It's not an easy trail, with a lot of ups and downs and over 1,500 feet of total elevation gain over its 5.5 miles. If you hike the entire loop, it will likely take you over 3 hours, but with access points all over town, you can hike smaller sections and even use it to access some local highlights like Cascade Falls, baby bathtubs, and the Via Ferrata. Ouray is home to 2 of the 3 free-to-the-public Via Ferrata courses in Colorado. The name Via Ferrata comes from the Italian and literally means iron road. A Via Ferrata is basically a protected climbing route with steel cables to clip into to protect from a fall, and often rungs or ladders to aid in climbing. The 2 routes, located in the beautiful Uncompahgre Gorge just outside of town, traverse and climb a combined 9,000 feet, and either will get your heart pumping. You can rent gear and hire a guide if needed in town. We took on the downstream route on our visit, and you can see more of that adventure in the linked video. With all these great things to do in Ouray, you're bound to work up an appetite, and although we rarely cover food in our videos, we have to mention Maggie's Kitchen, a place with burgers so good we came back 2 days in a row. Less than 2 miles out of town to the north is the Silver Shield trailhead, which leads to the Gold Hill Dinosaur track site, the longest continuous dinosaur trackway in the world. Although these tracks have existed for millions of years and have been known to a handful of locals for decades, they've only recently become officially accessible to the public when the private land the tracks are located on was sold to the U.S. Forest Service in 2024. Besides the length of the tracks, another unique feature is a 270-degree turn in the track. This is unique for sauropods, the herbivorous dinosaurs who ranged in size from the length of a rhino, possibly all the way up to 120 feet and 90 tons. This is the only place in the world documentation of such a tight and complete turn exists. To get to the tracks, you'll have to put in some work. While the trail is short at just over 2 miles each way, it has an elevation gain of 1,700 feet, mostly in the first mile, and there isn't much shade, so you might want to start early and definitely bring plenty of water. Just a bit farther to the north, you'll find the Bachelor Syracuse mine, where a tour will lead you 1,500 feet straight into the side of Gold Mountain to learn firsthand what life and work was like as a miner in the 1800s. You're probably picking up the theme that mining is an important part of the history of this part of Colorado, and this mine was one of the most consistent and richest mines in the area, producing ore for over 100 years. You can also try your hand at panning for gold, and even if you don't find any, as always, there's a souvenir shop. We couldn't think of a better way to wrap up our time in Ouray than a cocktail with a view, so we stopped off at the rooftop bar at the Imogen Hotel. The Imogen is a former Wild West saloon and brothel turned tiny hotel, with an open-air rooftop bar called the Dead Canary, in another nod to the area's mining history. With 360-degree views of town and the surrounding San Juan Mountains, this is a perfect place to relax and just enjoy being in the mountains.
We had a great time in Ouray, though we didn't come across any fondue, so I'm not sure about the whole Switzerland comparison.
But really, we had a great time here. It is a beautiful place. We would love to hear any comments or questions that you have that have come up while as you're watching. And if we've missed your favorite thing in Ouray, we would love to hear about that in the comments as well. We hope this video has helped you to decide if this is a place that you would like to come and visit and what you would like to see.
So until the next one,
enjoy your travels.